Did you call bank? I called game.
Video was made possible and sponsored by MMOCS. Buy cheap NBA 2K MT at MMOCS.com. Use my promo code PACG and you can get a 5% discount. What's up, Pack Nation? It is Pack here. Before I say anything, look at how many people have joined the Pack Nation. 98,000 subscribers, and that's crazy, y'all. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, so if you've been enjoying these roster updates, if you're an OG, press that subscribe button. Let's get to 100,000 subscribers. Remember, I'm doing two big giveaways. One winner will win 200,000 VC for free, or they can ask for NBA 2K19 for free, either one of those. And the other winner will receive anything from Zwello.com of the Pack merch. So if you want to win one of those giveaways, all you have to do is subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and then tweet at me. Done. You do these things, I'll put you in a randomizer and you could win one of those things. But that's not what I'm really here to talk about in this video. I'm here to talk about the roster update of NBA 2K19. There is a brand new one that came out a couple days ago. I believe this is the 6th roster update. Sorry that I'm late on making it, but we're here now, better late than ever. Let's talk about that right now. We're going to start with the Philadelphia 76ers as always, and I'm going to go one by one. I won't talk about every single roster change because that would take forever. I only talk about the important one for every single team. Now we're starting with Ben Simmons, who goes +1, and Jimmy Butler, who goes -1. So if you have not been noticing, Ben Simmons the past couple weeks has been playing nuclear. You know, here's the thing about Ben Simmons. Personally, whenever I watched him play and I would see his stats, I'd be like, you know, he's doing okay. He's doing good and the team's winning, but I mean, I was always like, I'm expecting him to blow up. I really thought he was going to blow up this season, and he didn't really do anything yet, but the past couple weeks he's been playing insane. They just beat the Warriors, and he's one of the main reasons why. They dropped Jimmy Butler, not because he's playing bad, but just because now he's playing with a lot of better talent. So he kind of levels out with everyone. So now they tie Ben Simmons and Jimmy Butler as the second best player on this team. I would even argue that Ben Simmons is better than Jimmy Butler, but that's a whole argument right now. The next player that's been updated is Eric Bledsoe, +2 for Eric Bledsoe, while Malcolm Brogdon and Chris Middleton goes -1. This whole season, Eric Bledsoe, Malcolm Brogdon, and Chris Middleton have been exchanging who is the second best player on this team every single roster update. They all trade places. Eric Bledsoe this week has been playing good, but a couple weeks ago it was Chris Middleton, and a couple weeks before that was Malcolm Brogdon. I really do think the Bucks don't have a true second best player. I think they all kind of share it. But in reality, personally, if I had to pick one, I'd pick Chris Middleton. He's an all-star this year. I think that Chris Middleton is the second best player on this team, but Eric Bledsoe has been having a good month. For the Chicago Bulls, Zach LaVine goes -1 to an 84 overall. He was 85. The thing about the Bulls is that they're not good and they're not winning. So even if you're putting good stats up, if you're not winning, it doesn't matter and you don't get a great rating. I think Zach LaVine's more of an 85 overall, but they're just dropping his rating because they're not winning. Chris Dunn goes from a 79 to a 77. Before he was injured, he was doing actually really good for the Bulls, so I understand why he had a 79, but now they give him a -2 for 77. He never really came back as good as he was at the start of the season before he got injured, so I kind of see what they were going with there, but oh well. A couple downgrades on the Cavs. Yeah, can you believe it? They can downgrade them even more. Collin Sexton goes -2 from a 76 to a 74. Now, I was defending Collin Sexton because I was like, yo, people were saying that he was sucking and that he was an awful rookie, and I was like, he's 19 years old, he's just starting out, he's with a bad organization for the moment, so of course he's not going to do great. Give him time. We've been giving him time and he's still not doing good. Drops to a -2 for Collin Sexton. Who knows, it might change over time, but right now, not doing too hot. Cedi Osman has been, I think, leading the team in scoring the past, I think, week or so. I'm not 100% sure about that, but he's been playing better than most players on this team. Goes +1 for him to a 73 to now to a 74. For the Celtics, who cares? Kyrie might leave. Ignoring the fact that Kyrie might leave them. Gordon Hayward goes -1 to a 79 overall. He deserves it, man. He's been sucking straight up. I'm sorry. I know he was injured. I know it sucks. He's been sucking. He just has. Not even in the 80 overall club anymore for Gordon Hayward. And he's earned that, man. Now for the Clippers, a lot of upgrades. Both Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell go +1. They almost beat the Lakers last night, and Lou Williams was balling out. He does so good in the fourth quarter. He's one of the best 6 men in the NBA right now. highly deserves that upgrade, and Montrezl Harrell has been having himself a nice little season, so good for him too. The only change for the Grizzlies is Marc Gasol -1. It's kind of hard to play when you know the team wants to trade you, just throwing that out there. But Mike Conley is now considered the best player on the Grizzlies, I believe for the first time ever, while Marc Gasol is healthy. Yeah, for the first time ever. That's actually pretty insane. For the Hawks, John Collins goes up again. He just keeps rising and rising and rising. I knew he was going to be good, but I'm surprised at how well he's been doing at only 20 years old. Pretty impressive for John Collins. And Trey Young also has been bumping up his assist numbers from my understanding. +1 for Trey Young from a 78 to a 79. I think it could be an 80 overall. He's only 19 years old and has a 79 overall rating. That's pretty good for Trey Young. Taurean Prince, by the way, has the biggest downgrade of this roster update. -3 for Taurean Prince. There was an argument you could make that he was the best player on this team at the start of the season. And now, I don't know, man. I don't know what happened to him. All of a sudden, he just dropped off really fast. Another player that expected to do good this season and then stopped was Rodney Mcgruder. He started the season off really good and goes -1 now to a 74 overall. I think he got up to like a 76 at one point. I don't know what happened to Rodney Mcgruder. I noticed a lot of players like to start the season off really well and then slowly dwindle. And that's what's kind of happened with Rodney. For the Hornets, it's Cardiac Kemba. 89 now to an 88, -1 for him. He was a 90 overall at one point this season. He is an all-star starter, I believe, but an 88 overall. Now, the Hornets still might make the playoffs. It's looking good for them, and it's all because of Kemba, so I still believe he deserves a high rating, but his numbers have gone down a little bit, so they lowered his rating. Now to talk about the Utah Jazz. They did the exact same thing last year. Donovan Mitchell and the Utah Jazz were out of playoff position, and all of a sudden when 2018 started, they start winning games like crazy, and Donovan Mitchell is leading the pack. And guess what happened in 2019? The exact same thing. They have won 8 out of their last 10 games, and it's all because Donovan Mitchell has been on a mission. +1 for Donovan Mitchell from an 86 to an 87. While Ricky Rubio also goes +1. All you guys told me that he's a good defender, and then I'm dumb, so I'm sorry about that. And Jingles goes down 1, so now they're tied for the 4th best player on this team. So Buddy Hield goes +1, and I said at the start of the season, Buddy Hield might be the best player on this team. And now he's officially tied with Darren Fox, Aaron Fox, as the best player on this team for the first time. Good for Buddy Hield. He's such a good 3-point shooter, doing so well. It's a shame they're probably not going to make the playoffs because they honestly have been doing pretty dang well this season. Dennis Smith Jr., -1. Of course he went down. From a 77 to a 76 now on the Knicks. Also now DeAndre Jordan is on the Knicks and Wesley Matthews is on the Knicks. Yeah, so tied best player on the Knicks is DeAndre Jordan and Enes Kanter. It's probably going to be DeAndre Jordan. Now for the Lakers, Zubac goes +2 from a 75 to a 77. I swear every time I watch the Lakers play, he just has a really good game. So you're welcome, Zubac. For my eyes, give you powers. Also, Josh Hart's trade value is going down from a 77 to a 76. Now, how are they going to get Anthony Davis? Come on. Nikola goes +1, 86 to 87. All-star for the first time in his career. And I think he does pretty good. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm not saying he does deserve it. I'm just saying he's a good player that made the All-Star game, and that's good for him. It's a shame they suck. Same thing goes with Luka Doncic, but he didn't make the All-Star team. That's basically like the exact same thing. +1 for Luka. He's great. Didn't make the All-Star break. Is on the Mavericks. Also, Tim Hardaway Jr. is on the Mavericks now. Also, Tim Hardaway Jr. leaves the 80 overall club again. He probably won't be able to come back now with Luka on the team, but who knows? It might change. Now for the Nets, the first-time All-Star D'Lo goes +2 from an 84 to an 86. You know what? I would have never guessed this. I would have never guessed that the Nets were going to be this good. D'Angelo Russell needs some respect. Imagine if they have a healthy team with Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert with Jared Allen. This team, you know what, man? They're all young. This is insane for the Nets. I'm really impressed by this. D'Lo deserves that +2 for sure. Last video, I disrespected Rodions, and I was wrong. He's doing pretty dang good for the Nets. Goes +2 with them. Not bad. Now the Joker goes +2 to a 93 overall. So this is the reasoning behind it. Because the Nuggets are one of the best teams in the NBA, and he's the best player, you have to give him a high rating. But I think it's more about that they're playing great as a team, not specifically Jokic is that good of a player. I'm not saying he's bad. I think he should be like a 90, 91. 93 in my opinion is high for him. You can disagree all you want. I disagree. Also, Gary Harris -1, so now Jamal Murray is the 3rd best player on this team. I believe this from the start. And I couldn't tell you anything about Malik Beasley, but +3 for him. That's really good for him because I don't know much about him. For the Pacers, Thaddeus Young goes +1. Someone needs to step up or do better when you lose your best player, so someone's gonna get upgraded ratings. So yeah. For the Pelicans, basically ignore Anthony Davis because he doesn't exist anymore. And Jaleel. So at the moment, Drew Holiday is the best player. And Jahlil Okafor has been doing so good. He gets +2 to a 76 overall, but in reality, he's been playing like an 80 overall so far. I'm really impressed with Jahlil Okafor. You know what? He may be pretty dang good. And he's only 22. That's such a good pickup for the Pelicans. It's funny. Now for the Pistons, Andre Drummond goes down 1 from an 87 to an 86. And I've told you this since the day 1 of the NBA. Blake Griffin is the best player on the Pistons. And finally, 2K, listen to me. Thank you, 2K. Now for the Raptors, Kyle Lowry goes down -2. Don't worry about that. Kyle Lowry goes up and down every roster update. They like to switch him around. He's good. We already know he's good. Doesn't matter what rating he has. We know he's the 2nd best player on this team, and he's good. Simple. James Harden +1 from a 96 to a 97. He's been playing like a 99 overall. Let's be real. James Harden is playing the best basketball some people have ever seen in their lives. We haven't seen scoring like this since literally Will Chamberlain. That's insanity. He should be, oh, you know what? He should be a 98 overall. I'm gonna say it. Also, someone I'm so happy is doing good. Kenneth Faried, the Manimal, goes +1 from a 76 to a 77. I think that's a fair rating for him. Maybe he could be a 78 overall, but he's been playing very good for the Rockets, getting rebounds, filling in for Clint Capella, who's been injured. I'm happy about this. Also, Marquise Chris goes down 2 because he's straight cheeks. Now for the Spurs, LaMarcus or LaDaddy goes +2 for the Spurs. And then DeMarvelous DeFrozen goes -3, so they switch places on who's the best player on this team. And that's because DeMar DeRozan this past month has been playing like cheeks, straight up. LaMarcus Aldridge easily has been the best player on this team so far because DeMar just been playing so bad all of a sudden. I don't even know. He's playing like playoff DeMar came early. That's what's happened. Now Kelly Oubre Jr. goes +1. Great pickup for the Suns. I still believe that. Paul George goes +1. Now think about this. Paul George has a higher rating than Russell Westbrook. If you were to have told me at the start of the season that Paul George would have a higher rating than Russell Westbrook, I would have said you were actually insane and that you should never talk about basketball again. Look who's wrong now. What the heck, man? And Paul George has been playing so good. I can't even really argue this. He's been shooting so bad, Russell Westbrook. I gotta give it to Paul George, man. Derrick Rose +1. You know, I did overreact. I thought Derrick Rose should have been like an 85, 86. 82 is good for him, especially how he's been playing. The Timberwolves aren't going to make the playoffs, so it's like, I think 82 is still amazing for Derrick Rose. We should be happy for this dude that he's playing good basketball at 29 after so many injuries. That's awesome for Derrick Rose. The Blazers had no change, but the Blazers actually had like nothing, but they needed to pick someone, so they put Jake Layman as a +1 because sure. There's no changes for the Warriors at all, pretty crazy, but DeMarcus Cousins is back, and the same thing goes for the Wizards, no changes at all. But what do you guys think about this roster update? Do you agree with 2K? Leave it in the comments below, and if you like this channel, give it a sub, and I'll see you guys next time.
Did you call